What do you think has more protein packed into it? A large egg or a simple scoop of powder you can stir into a glass of milk or water in about 10 seconds? Most people are surprised to learn that gram for gram, whey protein powder contains roughly 6 to 7 times more protein than an egg. That's not a marketing exaggeration. It's basic nutrition math. But the real story here isn't just about winning a protein comparison. It's about what recent research says whey protein can actually do for muscle strength as we age, how much you really need, and where the honest limits of this research are. Let's get into it. Here's why this matters so much after 60. Starting around your 30s, most people begin losing muscle mass gradually, a process that speeds up significantly with age. This condition, when it becomes clinically significant, is called sarcopenia, and it's linked to a higher risk of falls, hospitalization, and loss of independence. Part of what makes this so challenging is something researchers call anabolic resistance. In simple terms, older muscles need more protein per meal than younger muscles do in order to trigger the same amount of muscle protein synthesis, which is the biological process your body uses to repair and build muscle tissue. Younger adults might hit that trigger with a smaller amount of protein, while research suggests older adults often need meaningfully more at each sitting to get the same effect. So let's talk numbers, because this is where the egg comparison actually becomes useful. A large egg contains around 6 grams of protein. A typical serving of whey protein powder, about 1 scoop, generally provides somewhere between 20 and 30 grams of protein, depending on the brand and serving size. That's the 6 to 7 times difference we mentioned earlier. In practical terms, that means getting 25 grams of protein from eggs alone would require eating 4 whole eggs in one sitting, whereas a single scoop of whey protein mixed into water or milk gets you there in one easy step. For a lot of older adults, especially those managing smaller appetites, chewing difficulties, or simply less interest in food than they used to have, that convenience genuinely matters. Now, here's what the actual clinical research shows, and I want to walk you through this carefully because the details matter more than the headline. A systematic review and meta-analysis published in 2024, which pulled data from 10 randomized controlled trials involving over 1,100 participants, found that whey protein supplementation significantly increased muscle mass measurements in older adults compared to placebo. The researchers specifically noted that older populations, who tend to have reduced nutrient absorption efficiency and diminished capacity for muscle protein synthesis, may see a particularly meaningful benefit from whey protein supplementation. Separate research has looked closely at dosing, and a consistent pattern has emerged. Studies suggest that around 20 to 40 grams of whey protein per meal appears to maximize the stimulation of muscle protein synthesis in older adults, translating to roughly 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight per day when spread across meals. One frequently cited study found that when older adults combined 20 grams of whey protein twice daily with structured resistance exercise 3 times a week, they saw measurable increases in quadriceps muscle size, improved strength, and better walking speed after the study period. That last detail is worth underlining. The meaningful results came from combining protein with resistance exercise, not from protein alone. A separate study using a slightly lower dose of protein without a similarly intense exercise program did not produce the same improvements in muscle mass and strength, which reinforces just how much exercise matters alongside nutrition here. There's another detail specific to whey worth knowing. Whey protein is considered a complete protein, containing all essential amino acids, and it's particularly rich in an amino acid called leucine, which research identifies as playing a key triggering role in muscle protein synthesis. Some studies suggest older adults may have a higher leucine threshold than younger adults, meaning they need a larger amount to trigger the same anabolic response, and whey protein tends to reach that threshold more efficiently per gram than many other protein sources, including eggs. Now, let's talk about how to actually apply this in a realistic, evidence-based way. First, spread your protein intake across the day rather than loading it all into one meal. Research consistently shows that many older adults eat very little protein at breakfast and lunch, saving most of it for dinner. But muscle protein synthesis actually drops overnight, which makes your first meal of the day particularly important. Distributing 25 to 30 grams of protein across breakfast, lunch, and dinner appears to support better outcomes than the same total amount concentrated into one meal. Second, pair protein intake with resistance-based movement. This doesn't need to mean a gym membership. Bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, or light weights done consistently 2 to 3 times a week appear to meaningfully amplify the muscle-related benefits of adequate protein intake. Protein without movement provides raw material, but movement is what signals your body to actually use it for muscle repair and growth. Third, if you choose to use whey protein powder specifically, a standard serving of around 20 to 25 grams mixed into water, milk, or a smoothie is a reasonable, well-researched starting point, generally taken once or twice daily, depending on your overall dietary protein intake from meals. Now, for some important precautions, because this part matters just as much as the benefits. If you have any form of kidney disease or reduced kidney function, you should talk to your doctor before increasing your protein intake significantly, including through supplements, since your kidneys are responsible for processing protein byproducts, and existing kidney conditions may require a different approach. Whey protein is derived from milk, so if you have a milk allergy or significant lactose intolerance, it's not an appropriate choice for you. Though whey protein isolate, a more filtered form, contains less lactose than whey concentrate and may be tolerated differently, which is worth discussing with your doctor or a dietitian. Some people also experience mild digestive discomfort, like bloating, when first introducing whey protein, which often improves with a smaller starting dose. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Whey protein powder contains dramatically more protein per gram than eggs, and current research suggests that combined with resistance exercise, it may meaningfully support muscle mass, strength, and physical performance in older adults, a population where this kind of support matters more than almost any other life stage. Muscle isn't just about strength for its own sake. It's tied directly to your independence, your balance, and your ability to keep doing the things you love as you age. Small, consistent, evidence-based choices like this are exactly how that gets protected over the long run. If this helped you rethink your protein routine, share it with someone who could use it. And if you want more clear, honest, research-backed health content made specifically for adults over 60, go ahead and subscribe, because there's more coming.